so I check this side. You alright with it still?
Right, I think I am live. It is not quite 7 o'clock with my clock, but if anybody's there, please make yourself known.
You're not under here, mate. I'm not there.
Yes, I think I am live. Hiya Hazel. How you doing? Not seen you for a long, long time, have I? Oh, look, we've got a little face behind us. Hiya Kathleen. What are you doing in here? This is Oliver and he's come to say hello. And I don't know if your Nana's watching. Is she going to watch tonight? Hiya Sarah. Hiya Kaz. Hiya Julie. Say hello.
No.
No? Oh, he's being a bit cheeky, hasn't he? No.
Who's that?
It's you.
No.
Oh, that's Sarah Langmaid and Julie Anderson. Are you going to say hello? No. No. Well, I'll tell you a little story. The reason why Oliver's still here is because his mummy and daddy have been helping us do our decking. And, when are you in a chanda? I'll let you know in a second, Tracy. Hi, Ange. Right, the reason they're still here is because they've been helping with the decking and chopping down of a tree, but we are going to plant something else, so it was a sore point, but it was right in the way. And the reason they're still here is because they have lost their car keys. And I think you might have something to do with it. Would you believe a little honest face like this one? Is it you? No. Do you think it's him? Right, well, in answer to your question, Tracy, hiya Ruth, hi Ali and Ollie Bob. Auntie Angie says, hi Ollie Bob. Ollie Bob's still here. Hiya Rita. I'm on a chanda on the 31st at 3 o'clock. You'll probably realise by now that I have cut down my hours on a chanda, and it's basically to do with these little ones because I want to spend more time with them. Hi Marie. And I've got so much to do in the house. We're having a lot of renovations done and obviously getting my sewing room up to spec. So I decided that my health was suffering, Molly was suffering, the dog, so I decided to cut it back. I am still doing it because I still enjoy doing it. I like sewing, don't I? Do I like sewing? Hey? Yeah? What else do I like doing? What did we do yesterday? Baked buns. So I want to do a lot more things like that with the grandchildren. Your mum is shouting you to... Have they found them? No. Oh, they haven't found the keys yet. I will let you know. Hi, Ange. It looks like you have a helper. I certainly have got a helper, Aileen. That's Oliver. You'll remember Oliver is the same age as one of your grandchildren. Hiya, Jasmine, not Claire Patmore. I've not answered your message, have I? I will get back to you, Jasmine, and I will give you my new number so we can keep in touch. But I am doing these every week, as you know. I don't think I've got a great deal to do tonight, as I've not done so much sewing this week, unfortunately. But I have had my hair done. Yay! I sit in a lap. Oh, brilliant. Well done, Jasmine. Yeah, I've had my hair done, which took an whole afternoon, so I didn't get anything done for that. And oh, I think they found the keys.
They were buried alive.
They'd been buried in the decking. Now, you've heard of partners being buried in the decking, but not keys. Whose fault was it?
Richard.
He's put his hand up. It was his own fault. It wasn't Ollie Bob's. Ollie Bob's off the hook. See you later. You can go home now.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. Thank you. See you later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh dear men, what are they like? Hiya Jocelyn. Right, so I'll tell you what I'm doing on a chanda next week. I've got 3 new things to show you. Basically, because I've not been going on as long, it's giving me a lot more time to get more projects done, which is good for you. So I can cover a lot more different topics and a lot more projects that people might be wanting. So I did show you one of them last week, but I didn't show you it with lots of fabric in, so I'll show you those quickly. Right. So this is one of them, and this is an empty one. So basically it's sturdier than the one that I originally did, which was probably about 3 years ago. I did one of these bags for storing your fabrics. So it's like a little suitcase. It's got a handle. It's got a clear front, but I've put 2 zips on it, and basically the chunky zip, so it's a lot stronger zip, and it's got the big space inside, and you can put dividers on if you want to. This one hasn't got dividers on, as you can see, but basically they're brilliant for storing your fabrics, your pre-cuts, projects, anything like that. So here we've got a little pocket to put a label in. So hi Jude. So if you're wanting to label what's in them, then you can do. So basically what my intention was is to have them so that you can stack them up like that, and you've got all your fabrics in there. So as you can see, I've got this one labelled with pre-cuts. Hi Jude. So let me show you how it's intended to be used. So if you look in here, I've got 2 of the compartments in here, and tell you what, let me just lower my camera down a little bit and you might be able to see while it's on here. So if I turn that round, but basically it's going to stop all your fabric from getting dusty. If I open that up, you can see I've got 4 of the smaller jelly rolls in here. That's all in one side. Hiya Helen. So I can pop that in that side. I've got my compartments in here which I can take out if I want to, if I don't want to use that. In the other side I've got 2 of the big jelly rolls. Hiya Jean. Which you can store that way on, or you could maybe, yeah, you would get them in that way. It will just be bumped up a little bit, but you can fit them flat. And then in the main compartment I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets. Oh, thank you. It's from the quilt show. Jasmine, not Claire Patmore, says, where did I, oh no, she didn't. She said, I like your top. It's from the Festival of Quilts 2018, I think. Might say it on there somewhere. Maybe it does. No, it doesn't. But yes, a few years ago. So got 8 sets of fat quarters in there, so you can see how much fabric you're going to be able to get in there, and it's going to keep them all dust free. So it's something that I really use quite a lot, and I've got quite a few of them now. And you can put a label on the front if you've got them stacked, because obviously if they're stacked you can't see what's in. Where can you buy this? It's going to be on a Chanda next week. 31st, which I think is a week tomorrow. Are you wearing yours as well, Jude? Hey, well done. Sisters, Sewing Sisters. So that's that one. It's done in a lovely quilting cotton as well. The other one was done in a poplin, which was fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just find that the quilting cotton's a bit sturdier, and I've also done a stiffer interfacing on it, so it's going to last a lot longer, and it's going to hold its shape a lot better, because there's quite a lot of weight in there, and it's not got a problem, as you can see. So that's that one. Now the next one is right back to basics. So I wanted, because with the lockdown there's been a lot of people taking up sewing. Let me put the screen back up a little bit. And I thought the thing that daunts people when you first start sewing is things like, hi Caroline, doing zips. Now I know Caroline's a bit daunted by zips sometimes, so I wanted to show how you can simply do a zip in a lined pouch, but I also wanted it to be in a fabric that they might shy away from. So as you can see, this is the sequin fabric, and really there is no difference in sewing it. You just be a little bit careful how you sew it. I am, but I wanted to do a project for a beginner, and I wanted to hold their hand all the way through, show them how to do the zipper ends so that they look nice and, get back, so they look nice and neat, and make it with a lovely fabric. This is the Three Wishes fabric, I think. Hiya Rosemary. So I'm going to do that one for a total beginner, and then they can sit and play with it all day long, wiping the sequins back and forth. And then the last one is my favourite one, and this one is something that I really need, and I wish I'd had last year when I did the embroidery retreat. So it's been in my mind for quite a while to do this one. This one is not quite finished, but I am going to do a little bit of sewing, showing you how to construct this tonight. But this is the last new project for Achanda next week. And basically I'm calling it a retreat notebook cover. If you look, we've got a zip there. So when you go to a retreat, you don't want to be taking a handbag, your sewing machines, bags with your fabric in, all your stationery bits and pieces. So I thought, hiya Hazel, hi Julie, loving your hair by the way Julie. So this is what I've come up with to try and get around all this. So what we've got is a zip compartment here, and again it's the chunky zip. So in there you could maybe put sewing notions or tools or money, which is going to keep all that nice and safe. Open it up, and then inside here you have a space for a notepad to go. So that just slips into that pocket there. At the side you've got a pen holder, and then when you fold, not that side over, here you've got card slots. Now I forgot to put the seam down the middle on this, so you will be able to put a divider in there. I did do it on the new one. So you could have a long one at the back for notes, and then you've got a place for your credit cards or your hotel key card or anything like that. And I just thought that's brilliant to take to a retreat, because you've got your notebook and your pen all to hand. You have your hotel key room there, and you'd have your money and your credit cards all nice and safe. So that is going to be one of the colours, all matching. All the latest things I've been taking on Achanda are all in this fabric, so they're all matching. Obviously you can get it off my website as well. So this is the alternative one, the blue one. As you can see, I've still got to do the hand sewing on the, hiya Michelle, on the binding. But inside this one, so this is where you've got your space for your notepad, and your pen goes there. Fold that over, and you've got, I have put the dividers in this one. So you've got your note at the back, and then here you've got compartments for your key, hotel key, or your credit cards and things. And then at the other side you've got your zip compartment that I would be putting probably a rotary cutter and things like that. Thank you Michelle. So I've just got to hand sew that one, and then I've got all my samples done. Now my daughter's a swimming teacher, the one who's just left, and she saw that and said I could do with one of them, Mum. Now she's a swimming teacher, so she'd go to work and she would need to take a credit card because she's young. They don't carry money, and she would have a keys. She would have a notebook and pen for her, her classes and things. And she just said that would be brilliant for keeping all my stuff together. Now Laura and my other daughter Kira are both massive Disney fans. Love bags, and the material would need about 100 of these storage bags for my stash. Can you make them in builder sack size? Certainly, you can increase the sizes on them. You're welcome, Julie. So yes, my daughter's a massive Disney fan, so of course they wanted Mary Poppins or something similar. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do a little bit of sewing tonight and start to make up my daughters. So I think the best thing to do would be to try and put the camera down. Nice to see you too, Jane. So I'm going to see if I can get the camera to go down and angle it. Now I am on my Bernina, so I may need to turn the lighting down because I know it's a very bright machine. So I've turned that down as much as I can. Right, so back to basics. So I will try angling. This is my new, it's not going to go down low enough, is it? Let's see if I can put it at the side. Take it from charge. It is charging at the moment. So you're just going for a little walk around my machine. You're going up and above and up and over. So let's see if we can do it from here. Right, what can you see? Oh, you can see pretty well there. So if I turn that round, I can still see some of the questions if I need to. And I'll keep holding it up so you can see what I'm doing. So I haven't done the write-ups for these yet, so that's next on my on the agenda for me to do. Tell you what, let me move that back a bit and move this a bit further around. There, that's better. There, I think you can see now. You can also see I've got a can of Foster's here. I'm being really warm and sweaty and I just fancied a beer, so apologies, but I am going to have a quick swing. I've been working all day and they've been in the garden doing the decking and it's just been really hot. Right, so the first thing I've done is I have got some of the interfacing done and I've well, I haven't actually on this one. This is the stiff interfacing I'm using. You can actually hear how stiff it is. So I'm just going to give this a fuse and it might be worth you watching actually. It's something that most people don't show how to do the fusing. So let's turn you round to my ironing station. And basically my ironing station is just one of the big, what we call them, steam generators, that's it. So I'm going to lay my fabric on. I have got one of those heat pressers, but I tend to just use this to be honest. Right, so I've just double clicked it. You have to double click it to warm it up. So I'm just going to wait while that gets up to temperature, which should be doing it nicely now. And basically I just hold it on in one place because it needs to be really well fused. I'm just moving it to the bottom part of that. The heat press, now it's telling me it's warm to temperature. The heat press would probably be better to do it with, as it's going to do a 9" by 9" piece at the same time. But just for speed, I'll make sure I've gone on every bit. Because by the time that warms up, I'll have got it done. So I thought I was being all good and getting it all organised, and I hadn't even done it. I've done that many today though. That's why Sharon's ending up with one of my samples. When I'm doing the prototypes, I end up doing quite a few, so people do end up with them. So Sharon's got one of my samples. I'm just going to turn it over just to make sure that I'm going to get every bit fused. So long as you don't have it too hot, I don't think you can really overdo this. It could scorch it if you hold it for too long, but just keep, you know, make sure you've done every bit and then keep it on it and just move it around. Make sure that you've got a nice firm bond on there. Right, so that's that done. So that has turned that from that little flimsy bit of fabric to a nice stiff piece of fabric now, so that's going to give it a nice stability. So I'm going to turn you back round. Hopefully I'll have got all the other bits done. The little bits of sewing. Right, has anybody said anything? Lorraine, hiya, Lorraine. Hope to see you too. Hi Valerie. If I've missed any of your questions, I'll just say them again and I'll try and catch up with you. Right, so that is the main body of the bag there. Now, I want to do the pocket part first. So I've got some zip. I think it would have been better with a black zip, but I don't think she'll mind. Because how I do my zip on a roll is I cut one end and I cut a long length and then I just put quite a few sliders on. So when I'm ready to use it, I just slide one to the end, measure what I need, and then cut it off. So that's my zip done. So now what we need to do is we need to lay the zip face down. I'm just going to pull that to end because I've got a nice wobble on there. There we go. If you zip it right up, then I can zip it back on. So I've pushed it right up to the top there, and I'm starting with it over the end, and I'm going to stitch that onto my piece of fabric. Put my zipper foot on, and stitch. Now on your zipper feet, on your zippers, you'll see that there's a seam down the middle. That's just as a guide for you to sew along, so you know that you're getting it nice and straight. So if you stitch along that, you know that you've done it right. So you can see there, I've just stitched along that middle bit. Now, if you're confident, you can do this all in one go. If not, don't worry about it and just do it as one stitched row and then another stitch on top, because you can turn it over, you can see where your stitches are, and you can stitch along that edge again. Now that way you're getting two lots of stitches on there, so you know that it's going to be extra secure, and that's the way I like to do it, unless I'm in a hurry. But I don't really think you should hurry sewing projects. Not something that's going to get used a lot like this anyway. So I'm just stitching over the top of those stitches. I don't want them to fall on the floor. To the other end. And then only just tuned in what you're making. Are you doing any Christmas projects? I will be, Tracy, at some point. Yeah, I will be. I'm just about starting to think about Christmas. As you know, we've had a lot on with my little granddaughter, and we have had some good news this week. She's off the ventilator at the moment, fingers crossed, and she's doing a tiny bit better, so let's hope. We're actually hoping that she's going to be out for Christmas, so that's going to give me something to think about for Christmas projects. I don't want that to come off, so I'll just push that back on. I'm just top stitching down here. Sorry, Lorraine, what I'm making is, I'm making a retreat. In fact, I'll show you on this one. A retreat notebook cover. So you've got a zip compartment here. That opens up for your card slots there and money slot there. And then inside you have a pen holder and a notebook holder as well. Hi, Lynn. Yes, she's continuing to improve. Thank you, Lynn. We're all praying for her and, you know, willing her along. It's a difficult time, but she's doing all right at the moment, so we're happy. Right, so the other piece, I've got all my pieces in a muddle now. I had them all laid out nice and neat. Right, what I'm going to do next is, to make sure I don't go wrong, I'm going to take the linings pieces and I'm going to put my pen holder in. Now, this is up to you. If you've got quite a chunky pen that you want to use in this project, you can sew a bit further in. If you know you've got a slim pen that you want to use, just stitch a little bit further up. So that's going to give you a choice. Now, I know that when I do this, I want to have my pen holder on this side. So that's going to go there. So I'm going to stitch it about 2 inches down from the top. I will pop a pin in. I know I don't normally, but I'll be good. And then I'm going to take the next piece, which is interfaced. See if I'm doing it the right way. Oh, doesn't matter, it's non-directional. Some are up, some are down. I'm going to put that over the top and I'm going to sew down that seam, encasing the elastic in between. So I'm going to do this just for a normal size pen, because I know Laura will just get a pen to fit. I'm going to take that pin out while I think on. Don't want my machine back in the repair shop. If you can hear any flapping noises or knocking, it's the horn table. I haven't got the extension up, and as I'm sewing it rattles. Right, so what I would do is I would press that open. Oops, that's not straight, is it? I think I'll put that right. See, it doesn't help when I put pins in. I'm better off not putting them in. I will just give that a little unpick and put that right. Yeah. So all I'm doing is just unpicking that bit and pulling it up straight. Now my iron's whistling to me all the time now. Irons didn't used to make a noise, did they? Right, so there we go. So there we've got our pen holder in there. And this now, I know which piece I'm doing now. So what I need to do now is I need to join this to the other side of that zip there, lining up the top edges on here. Sorry, I'm off camera. So just lining those edges up there, and I'm going to stitch down here. And again, I'm going to do it in 2 goes. That way I know it's going to have 2 lots of stitches to give it more security. So just keep it straight. Don't want to knock them off. And that's going to be the inside. So what I need to do is bring that up behind and put it underneath where that one is. So I'm sandwiching that zip. Sorry, you can't see. Sandwiching that zip in between. In fact, I've gone off a bit there as well. I think it's because I'm twisting to show camera. Let me just unpick that little bit. I'll try not to twist. It's making me silly all skew with. So I will stitch this at the same time because I want to put that straight there and then line that up. That's the back of the inner pocket piece. So as I'm stitching along those stitches there, I'm catching that in behind at the same time. And I'm going to try not to twist around so I stitch it straight. That's better. So just go along those stitches that's already been stitched. Take that out, and now when I open that up, you can see we've got that zipper pocket in between, and that's the outer side and that is the main side. So when you zip that inside there, you've got your zipper pocket. So the next thing we need to do is we need to put on the magnetic clasps. Christine. What's all Lorraine Johnson you need? You need everything, Lorraine. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where my clasps need to go. Now, I think in the instructions I say 1.5 inches down and 1 inch in. But I think I can, because I've stitched that already, I think I'm going to get away with doing it 1 down and 1 in. So I'm going to get my pen and don't fall off. I'm going to put 1 inch down from the seam where the zip is. I'm just going to guesstimate 1 inch in and just check that that's right. Oh, not bad at all. So then what I would do is get one of the little washers and put that where that dot is and just mark those little marks there and do the same at the other side. So I'm going to guess again. I do more guessing than I do actual measuring. There we go. Right, so what you need to do is either put a bit of fabric behind that to strengthen it or put some interface in. I'm going to put a bit of fabric because I've got some here. So I'm just going to cut a little strip off this binding. 2 pieces just for the back of the, if I mark them, then I know that it's going to fit exactly. So I'll put it down to mark it. So I'm going to cut both them at the same time, and how I like to cut them is with my favourite tool, the good old unpicker. Hi Serena. So I'm going to pop that through there and just do a little snip. Oh, it's not even a snip, is it? It's a little drag on there to put those holes in there. I'm going to do the same with this piece. So just go in, just cut about 3 millimeters, something like that. That's enough. And just to make this stronger, because it is going to get quite a bit of opening and closing, use on there, I like to use a fabric glue. Now the one I like to use is the Gutermann Creative HT2 Textile Glue. And all I do is, where the marks are on the bag, I put a little blob, just a tiny blob where each hole is going to go. Just two things, it stops that from fraying, but it also adds strength to the bag as well. I'm going to put that through those holes, push it right through. When you've got that there at the back, get the next one and pop that on the back. So there you've got the extra layer of fabric. Get some more textile glue. I just tuned in. What are you making, please? Hi, Stephanie. I'm making the new project for Achanda, which is a retreat notebook cover. And basically, I put the washer on. It's a case that holds a notebook, a pen. It's got card slots for hotel keys or credit cards or anything like that. And then it's got a little zipper pocket for tools or anything basically that you want to carry with you. So basically, instead of having to take a handbag and everything, you can just take your retreat bag. Right, so that is my magnetic clasp on there with extra fabric on the back and extra glue as well. And I just find that that gives it a lot more stability. So this is the female one I'm putting on, which is the thicker base part. So again, put some glue just onto the part where it's going to go. I always recommend putting some glue on. I don't think I would make anything without putting glue on. Push that through. Get your next bit of fabric that you've got as a security. Pop that onto those prongs as well. Get in when you can. Bent it before I needed to. If you can't find, there it is, I've got it. Put some more glue on in the middle there. Put your washer over the top. I'm going to put it down to try and fasten it because it's easier to use something heavy to push those prongs in. You do get some that are quite flimsy, but these are pretty strong. And I wouldn't like to do it with my fingers. Right, there we go. So that's the two outer ones done. We can actually do the front pieces while we're here. Hi, Anne. So this is the front of it, and again we need to do it 1 inch in and 1 inch down. So I'm actually going to turn this over because I can see better on the back to do the markings. So I'm going to get the washer. Did I not get enough washers out? Oh, you Wally. Excuse me, I just want to get some washers. I thought I'd got them all out. Got my washers. So again, it needs to be 1 inch in and 1 inch down. So that's 1 inch in. I'm going to guess 1 inch down and see if I'm right. Yep, close enough. Put a dot. So 1 inch in and 1 inch down. Yep. I think after a while you can more or less guess where you need to go. The reason why we do them so far in is because when you're doing the edges with your binding, you need to be able to get your zipper foot in. And if you do them right close to the edge, you've no chance. Right, so this one has actually got the interfacing on the back. So I don't really need to put bits of fabric on because it's got the extra interfacing to secure it. So I'm just going to cut those slits there. On both sides. I quite like this project. It's a nice quick one to do as well. I'm going to put the glue on the other side, which I can just about see. So I'm just going to put a blob of glue on there. get the female side, which sorry, the male part, which is the thinner one with the little little raised part. Sorry, I'm missing in the middle there. Turn it over, put some glue on the back, pop the washer on, and then I'll just lay it down to close it up. Close those prongs. Now I like to close them in. You can close them, open them out if you want to, but sometimes I find if you put them in the sideways, you will hit the prongs with your foot as you're going past sewing it up. So I like to do them this way, close them in. Put that through, another bit of glue in the middle, and then we've got the magnetic clasps on there already. Right, so pop that closed, both sides. Make sure they're nice and tightly closed, and that extra glue on there is just going to give it a bit of extra security. Right, so if you look on the front now, you've got your two magnetic clasps, and on the other side you've got your zipper part with your zipper pocket at the back, your pen holder there, and then your lining. So what we need to do now is on this part, the main one, we need to start adding our bits. These are the pocket pieces, so I'm going to do that first. Actually, I'm going to change my foot back to a normal 1/4 inch foot, although it's not a 1/4 inch seam I'm using. Actually, most of it is 1 centimetre. Some of it is 1/4 of an inch, but I do tell you in the instructions. I love how this machine just changes the needle position when you change the feet. Right, so I'm just going to put the two pieces right sides together, and I'm going to stitch around 3 sides. I am going to back tack at the beginning. Stop about 1 centimetre from the end with your needle down, pivot and turn. Exactly the same on the next corner. And then I'm just going to clip these corners here. That will reduce bulk, make it easier to turn, and give you nice sharp corners when you have done. So put your thumb onto the inside, roll that to one side, put your fingernail on the end and push it through. Same with the other side, push it through. Right, so I'm just going to give that a very quick press. Be back in a second. Do not need to reinforce May clasp 2. Sorry, my typing is rubbish, only on a broken phone. I don't know what you mean by, I presume you mean reinforce. The reason I've only done one side is I've added extra fabric to this side, Jasmine, because that was just one layer of fabric. On this side, it's a very stiff interfacing, so I didn't need to reinforce this side. Basically, it's going through that fabric, but the interfacing is so stiff, I don't need to add anything extra. That is really secure on there. Just going to go and press this piece. And I'm going to stitch that in before I start sewing all the end pieces on. So what I need to do is lay that down where the pen holder is. I want to place this about 1 inch to the side of that, and making sure that the raw edges are lined up on the bottom, not on the top. Open it out so we're only sewing through the lining, and I'm going to stitch up that side and up that side, so that side at the top is open for the notebook to go in. So about an inch away from the pen holder, lining up the raw edges at the bottom, and I'm just going to stitch, put my jewel feed on. Back tack at the top, break the thread, and I'm going to turn it around and come down at the other side of that about 1/4 of an inch away, just to give it a really nice decorative look. You could actually use decorative stitch if you wanted to. So it's giving you like a double row of stitching on there. I'll show you what that looks like. So that has got us stitching there. Hiya, Beryl. Now I'm going to do the same at this side. I'm just going to roll that up because I'm going into the throat of the machine. Make sure it's all nice and straight. Back tack at the beginning. Don't want the pen to disappear over the edge. All the fabrics. Again. Another row of stitches. So that's giving that a nice, it's like a bit like a denim look. Right, what have we got on here? Forgot to put all that on. Don't worry about it, Beryl. You know, if you miss them, you can always watch them afterwards anyway. And it's my fault because I didn't get a chance to put on Facebook that I was doing a Facebook Live tonight. I tried to put one on in the afternoon, but I've been so busy trying to keep the room clean with all the mud coming in and out, with Molly and the guys helping out. Right, so now we've got our 2 pieces here. We've got the main compartment, we've got the pocket, and then we've got our notebook part. So we're going to add all the extra pieces to this side now. So I'm going to put that under the machine, and the next piece is, let's have a look, this blue. So we're going to stitch one of these onto the next piece, just lining up the raw edges. And then I open that out and I stitch this piece. These are the card slot pieces, so I haven't interfaced these because there's quite a few layers all going together. And I didn't want them to be too thick. And then the next piece is another blue piece. And I know this looks like it's going to be really long, but it will come together pretty quickly now. I'm pressing his advice at this point, but I've just lost one of my bits. Mark's just sneaked in for a beer. He's seen mine and he wants one. I've lost a bit. Where's it gone? There should be another piece that is 8.5 by 8.5, and I don't know where it's gone. Hi, Sandy. Sandy's saying hello to everyone. Right, so it looks like I'm going to have to either find it or put another piece. How does this always happen? I think there's some fabric thieves. Anyway, I'll tell you what I'll do. What time are we on? Oh, we're still all right. What I will do is I'll show you how this starts to come together, and I'll show you what that last piece does, because basically it's more or less finished now. Right, so this piece here, I'm going to fold. It's gone, Jasmine. He just came, pinched a beer out of my fridge and went. Didn't hang around. I'll tell him you said hello, though. So I'm just folding that down. Now it's obviously better if it's being pressed. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch right on the very edge of that, and that's going to form the first of the card slots. So I'm going to fold that back, make sure it's all nice and neat. I've got this stiletto and this plastic press, so I could actually just use that just to make it nice and neat. And if you wanted to, you could increase your stitch. I'm not going to bother. Actually, I will. I'll put it up to about 3.5. And I'm stitching just on the very edge. And that's going to form the first of my card slots. Then what I'm going to do is this piece here, I'm going to press with my little finger presser the fabrics to the inside of those seams. So the bottom one is going up and the other side is going down, so that they're going to be enclosed in the middle. Obviously, when you're doing it yourself, you will take a lot more time and have your seams all nicely pressed. But you can see what I'm doing is I'm just lining those two up together, and I'm going to top stitch along this edge here. So I'm going to make sure they're keeping straight as I'm going. So just start, and then what I'm going to do is hold the other edges together. Obviously it's better if it's pressed, but Laura won't know. It's quite good this, because I can find out how long it takes me for my demonstrations on TV. Hi Kaylee. Very good, Kaylee. Hi Mark, bye Mark. Right, so what we do next is we actually bring this up so it's about 1/2 inch over the top of that, and I'm just going to get my clips. I'll find that other piece when I've finished, and I'm going to clip that one there. Just bring it up a little bit more. And then I'm going to do the same at this side. So it's just about 1/2 inch above. And what that's doing is it's forming little pockets for the card slots to go in. So then I bring up the next one, although I can't, because the next one is the other black one, which has disappeared. I'm going to see if I can see it hanging around anywhere. If not, I'm going to quickly cut one out, because I need it to finish my project. I found it. See, I was prepared all along. Those little fabric feet. So this is the extra piece, which actually goes on the edge of that last blue one. And I'm going to just stitch that in place. You'll notice as well that on all my projects I get all the scraps of the interfacing, but it works brilliantly, so it doesn't make any difference. Right, so that's the last piece that I've got on there. So that would be pressed up. Let me just get that done quickly with my little stiletto presser. And then we fold that, so 2 inches from the seam here. So let's just stop it. See how long it is? Look, it starts off like that, and then as you pull it up. So can you imagine how hard that was to work out? Right up to there. But it all folds together brilliantly. So what I'm going to do is mark 2 inches from that seam, which I can't do it with that, which is there. 2 inches. I put the marks on the pink bits. I can actually see where it's supposed to fold. 2 inches, 2 inches. And what I can do is I can fold that over like that, and just give that a press with my finger, and then I'm going to top stitch along the edge of this as well. It's one of those fabric pens that the ink just irons off, so it's not a problem that I've marked on the fabric. Friction pens, that's the one. So I've top stitched along that edge, and then that's going to go about 1/2 inch above that one. Move that clip to hold all them in. Same on this side. It's looking nice, this one. Might have to keep it for myself, Laura. And then what I need to do is hold it from the zip, let all those folds hang down, and I'm just going to put a clip to hold them in position. I want the zip to be right at the top there. So put a clip on there, and on the other side put the zip at the top and hold all those together. All these here need to be all going the same direction. So I'm just going to lay it flat. So as that's laying flat, it's going to look like that. And when I turn that over, these will all line up, and the bottom needs to be level, and then we can stitch that in place, and that will all together. So just make sure all those seams are going the right way. Put the clip to hold it on both sides, and it all magically folds up, and all you need to do then is stitch down the sides and then across the bottom and bind it, and that's it, done. So I'm going to quickly do that, and that just helps it all stay in place. Might sound difficult, but it's really a simple project if you just follow the instructions, and I will do a video of how to do this one, but it's a lovely project. I'm really enjoying it. And I just remembered I haven't done the separators for the card slot, so before I finish I'm just going to take that out, and I'm going to do, just move that out of the way to there, because I need to make sure. I'm going to do just from the top here, just past the middle there, and that will separate those. Yeah, you're better off actually measuring it, but I'm doing it by eye. I'm naughty. Make sure you don't catch the bottom of it in, but I don't want it all to come undone. Right, so I can take that out. We've now got the separators in, and I can carry on stitching around. So it did take me some working out how to do this, but I am quite proud of it, and I think it's a lovely pattern and a lovely design to do. Just make sure they're all nice and level. Stitch along the top, pivot at the top corner, and stitch down the side. And I can go past the edge of the magnetic clasps, no problem. Make sure you keep the inner pocket nice and laid down flat. Pull that zipper out of the way. Don't want to get that caught. Right, so what you would need to do then is just trim off all the edges nice and level. Preferably with some old scissors. There we go. So there you go, we've got the pocket there for the notepad. We've got the pen holder here. That will fold into the middle, and you've got your slot for your money there, and then you've got your card slots here. You've got 4 card slots. This will come over and fasten on there. It takes an A5 size notepad, and we've got our zipper pocket at the top here with the lovely lining inside, And all it needs doing is the binding, which for this one I've chose to do the Mary Poppins pink. And I cut it to 2 inches. It takes more than one length, which is a shame. But all I do is I lay that perpendicular to the other one, and I stitch from that corner there to that corner there, trim off quarter of an inch, and then that will open up, and basically I fold it in half. I can show you now. Where's my blue one gone actually? It's here. I can show you this because I've not finished it. I fold it in half and stitch quarter of an inch down the edge, fold that over, and then top stitch in place, and that will give you your lovely, somebody singing, that will give you your lovely retreat notebook holder. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm not going to put the binding on tonight because I'm quite tired for tonight, but I will get that finished and I'll put the pictures on Facebook. So what time are we on? We're on 5 to 8. So I'm going to get off now, and I will catch you all next week. Don't forget, next Thursday night I will be doing my Facebook Live, and then next Friday I will be on a Chanda at 3 p.m. And no, that's it, just 3 p.m. Like I say, I'm cutting down, so I hope to see some of you then. Thank you for watching, and I shall catch you later. Bye.